All right. Let me just get my comment section lined up over there, and we can start reading. What is shape? Strong Go players have in their armories, have in their armory many sets patterns of play. While shape could mean any pattern that regularly goes on the Go board, it is usually to restrict the idea somewhat. The most valuable shapes ideas are those revealing the position of vital points. A vital point is a key location. If you occupy it, then by itself will give you a good result, not by some magic, but because of the nature of the position. So, CMR 148, I am reading Shape Up, and I am doing this to be able to make better shape in my Go games. And I'm going to be reading aloud, and if you want to listen and follow along, then feel free to join. I will be reading until I'll be reading for about an hour. This is very important in practical play. From the point of view of reading, playing the vital point is only looking one play deep. Strong players are able to play well without much apparent thought simply by concentrating on correct shape, which is not to say that deep reading has no part in Go. To start out, there is a small collection of Go proverbs that helps one recognize those vital points of shape. They are heuristic, not rigorous rules, and so are best studied with the exceptions. The meta proverb saying, beware of applying proverbs blindly. How do joseki and Tsuji relate to shape? In learning the basic tactics of Go, one, at an early stage, identify cutting points is crucial. Sometime after that, the study of Tsuji problems shows that the major tactical gains may result from certain standard plays. In particular, those taking advantage of lack of liberties. Good shape play may be less extreme or dramatic than handling under the heading of Tsuji, and yet still offer important advantages. Opportunities to play Tsuji occur only at a few times in a game between well matched players, but good shape is constantly required. Before studying shape, most players will encounter a few set openings, called in Japanese joseki. Joseki are standard sequences, including the conventional corner openings. They are patterns that have been evaluated by consensuses of professionals. A given joseki sequence steers a way through many possible variations, some which are discarded as obvious tactical failures. Normally, many further variations are rejected as poor shape. Some of the player's stones are inefficient or redundant. One of these groups created has an inadequate eye shape or is difficult to develop further on, and so on and so forth. So, the objectives in this book are to explain which points are vital in a given shape, to show how good shape is achieved and bad shape exploited in fighting contexts, to integrate shape proverbs into your knowledge of Go. Hello, Mnem Baduk. Mnem. Mnem, Mnem. To look behind the proverbs to another level of more explicit mechanism, to provide support material and to explain exceptions, to break down the barrier between Tsuji and Joseki points of view, connecting pure intuitions with learned knowledge, to demystify many common Tsuji, to help the reader visualize how and where a Tsuji might happen in the future, a requirement for a Dan player, to discuss the choice of variation at a point in Joseki, where tactical reasons alone aren't a sufficient guide, to address as we go along questions about Tsuji, or correct style, covered some of the content of the many texts on kata and Tsuji in the Japanese literature, to contribute the local critical theory of Go by attempting a systematic listing of possibilities in a pattern, with criteria for choosing amongst them, to develop an ingrained respect in the reader for the principles of good shape. For example, connect but remain light and flexible. Don't fill your own liberties without very good reason. Develop rapidly but also take into account eye shape. To provide a reference on shape. And to show action the comparative methods of Go study. So the reason why I'm reading this is because I've been recommended by a player on OGS who's kind of taken me under their wing. His or her name is Jimmy Ko, and they suggested I go and read this book. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So, what should I study at my level? From 10Q to 5Q level, you should probably concentrate on recognizing standard shapes as they come up in your own games, or playing through professional games looking for them. It may be hard to understand why mistakes in shape are bad play until you have also studied the basic shape concepts. In particular, the study of joseki at this point may appear to be unrewarding, plain and simple memorization. Problem solving, first of all about basic life and death, and then more generally, tactics under the heading of Tsuji, is likely to seem more attractive to the player interested in progressing beyond 10Q. After solving enough problems from the Go literature, you should begin to find vital points in formation. This point can serve as references for these standard shapes. The extended joseki example studied in this introduction is suitable for players about 5Q or stronger. You can use it as a diagnostic test for what you already know. If you don't initially get much out of it, you should probably read some of the simpler section first. See below. The approach of this book. Books on joseki are arranged by variation. Books on Tsuji are organized in one of two ways, by underlying shape or by function, as in the Fujisawa Shuko Tsuji Dictionary, the current standard work. None of these structures makes for readability, but they are suitable for reference works. We normally adopt a combination of shape and functional approaches. Studying this book. Some people will read this work through as a book. If you are of Dan level, you might enjoy this, perhaps alternating with a book on Tsuji. There are 5 main parts, each starting on a fresh area, within which the chapters generally increase in difficulty. The parts, too, become harder as the book progresses. Each chapter is broken down into short sections dealing with a specific topic. There are also 3 problem sets, the third being much harder than others. Oh, I should probably go and give the link in chat. So if you want to go and follow along. Let me see, how do I go and... So if you want to follow along, there's the link. Each chapter is broken down into short sections dealing with a specific topic. There are also 3 problem sets, the third being much harder than the others. Otherwise, you may find it helpful to study one of these shape courses. You can use these sections listed as our indication of difficulty. So I'm going to start with the first reading. An example treated joseki style. The rest of this introduction works over a simple opening problem. This approach is typical of joseki books. You take a single corner opening and discuss a number of variations. You can read on it to get a feel for the overall scope of shape ideas and examples of some basic proverbs. In the context of decision making, there's therefore the disadvantage of no single conclusion or main point. That partly explains why this isn't the way adopted in most of the rest of the book. Generally, we take one pattern and look at it in various contexts. Then there is some basis for comparative reasoning and a bit more dogmatism. Cross-references are given to the main text, in each case at points you wish to follow them up, as the number of proverbs are highlighted like this. Interesting, so this is a 3-3 point, so black has opened up with a 3-3 point. White has played the 4-4 shoulder hit. Black iron pillars. White iron pillars. Black slides, white jumps, black slides, and white jumps. Interesting. I've seen this before. This is a regular sequence in a corner occupied first by black. It is relatively simple. Black's control of the corner is not contested while white plays to avoid making a weak group. The white group then exerts influence into the center. It is decided early on that black has the corner, and after that, both players can say to be making shape. Behind even such ordinary development, there may lie dozens of variations. We shall look at quite a number in the remainder of this introduction, as a way of surveying the facets of the idea of shape. Immediate loss of good shape. This looks like a hane at the head of 2. To begin with a fundamental example, White's choice here is bad shape. I've made this mistake before in my games, specifically against a player called Merjana. White's choice with black 4 applied to the proverb, play hane at the head of 2 stones. After that, white cannot get a good result in this part of the board. If you commonly allow this to happen to your stones, you can probably make an instant improvement by avoiding this sort of result. Playing for light shape. There is another recognized possibility for white 3. White can make the 1-point jump played in this diagram. White must understand the purpose of this move. When black plays 4 as shown, white will not be able to connect the 2 stones solidly. Therefore, white 3 is a so-called light shape. I've played this line before. This is my preferred line over this line right here. It's the jump. The main reason to prefer light shape is that it makes defense tasks easier. A characteristic mistake of amateur players is to make heavy shape, to develop groups without sufficient regard to their future defense requirements. I agree, Pokemon. The jump is a little faster in regards of staying ahead of your opponent. This problem manifests itself in various ways. Reluctance to sacrifice stones, even those without any great strategic significance. A greedy attitude to invasions, not admitting the opponent deserves at least some territory. Reduction plays that are too deep, and which have to struggle for life. Too many solid connections in groups underdeveloped because of unreasonable fears of later cuts or invasions. Strong players are keen on sacrificing stones. They can do that successfully for several reasons. Understanding of which stones can be sacrificed, and which are essential. Good technique to get the most out of a sacrifice, accurate judgment of the result, position, and a sharp eye for later use of the stones given up. So this looks like post jump, wedge, Atari, connect, connect, jump to not get surrounded, and then 9 looks like it's defending the cutting point, but black can still take this stone, but black doesn't want to take this stone here because then white plays here. Black could capture here, and if white has the ladder, then there's no cut to worry about. But if not, white could probably play here. Now here it looks like there's a fight going on because we got this pinwheel shape. And it looks like this is much worse shape for white. Because now, instead of having this one stone that could be dead, we have these 2 groups that are divided and separated. And weak. There's only 1 weak black group though, but there's 2 weak white groups. Normally, white plays on 5 and 7 on the outside, as in the left-hand diagram, and treats the marked white stones as a potential sacrifice. If white tried harder save, as in the right diagram, white would immediately be involved in a difficult fight when black cuts with 8. Another possibility is the clamp on the left, which is not always reliable or strong shape. White can try 3 and 5. Alright, so clamp, descend, 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 wedge, Atari, connect, hane at the head of 2. I don't like this position for black because it looks like black needs another move to not immediately die and get laddered. I guess it's fine-ish. Alright, so what did black do here? Black took the Hane instead. Cut. Atari. Go out. Crawl up. Which is Atari. Connect. Crawl. Hane. Cut. Which is also Atari. Extend up. Capture the cutting stone. Extend here, which is Atari, to make use of this Aji. Connect, and then jump, which kills black here, which is interesting. So either the cutting stones here die, or the cutting stones here die. So what about on the right-hand diagram? Um, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so this is if black jumps. White can crawl, push, which is Atari, which is a cut, extend, which is good shape, jump here, extend here, wait. So 17 is played here to threaten to capture these stones, and then white goes and plays this because he doesn't want this stone to be captured. But the stone could have been captured last move. So 20, 21 here, poke into the corner, Hane. I don't understand these. No, I do. This is to prevent white from having life in the corner. And then white can surround on this side. 25, 26, 27, 28. And it looks pretty dangerous for black. Because there's like a vital point in here. And then black is one eye, white has one eye. But it seems like white's plan is unreasonable. Okay. Yeah, maybe it is unreasonable because I would bet more on this black group being alive than this white group. Because this black group has 6 spaces in here, while this white group has 4. And there's also this liberty and this liberty. And if black plays here, then this is completely alive, and there's no move that makes white completely alive. So it feels like black has the advantage on the right. Turning back now, what choice did black have in answering A? White's shoulder hit played at 1. What about A, B, or C instead? These are examples of plays that are rarely considered in books. 2 of them are quite bad. One has appeared in a top-level match played by a master of the 3-3. There is only one master of the 3-3. AlphaGo Master. It would be an enormous task to list imaginable variations in joseki, or even reasonable questions to ask. One can be sure only that the plays currently in professional games at a particular era have been carefully considered. Black 2 is from professional play. though not very common. This development can be expected. White 5 extends 3 from a 2-stone wall, in line with the proverb. It might also sometimes be played at A. This was Sakata Nine-Dan's play against Otake. In that context, white 5 was not possible. Choice B is a bad shape. Ooh, looks like white gets good shape with the ladder, but black gets a panuki? One, two, three. So we have the jump and then the push through. Cut, cut, Atari. And then capture and then the ladder. But considering that was black's corner originally, even though black got a panuki there, white got to capture a stone and gets the corner. So that looks too good for white, because it looks like white got the first move there. All right. What about this? One, two, three, four, and you could also cut on this side. Yeah, it's a little bit unusual for me. This is the first time I'm weighing good shape against good shape because at one hand there's a panuki here, which feels like good shape to me for black, but white has even better shape because of that captured laddered stone. I do agree. It's kind of like the double hane variation. Less aji too. White can now cut on either side, depending on the overall position. So white can take the corner, or white can play for the influence. Both results are good given that black starts here. Black does well to obey the proverb, capture the cutting stone. If black connects here, the result is worse shape than capturing the stone and giving up the outside. A single stone captured, often called a panuki, may be of high value. It may build eye shape or influence, and it is normally easy to develop in more than one direction. We have described black's play here as mistaken, so it is. Giving up the corner is a serious loss, and white's good shape is too costly. There is a surprising amount of aji in the double hane variation for the intruder to take advantage of. I agree. I used to play the double variation a lot for a good period, and then I just stopped because the aji was so bad. Like, I liked the points, but white, like, when my opponent just got too many free moves there. And now when I see it, I'm pretty fine with it when I see it in my games. All right. A tricky use of symmetry. So here, and then a two-space jump, and then descend, and another two-space jump, and then 5, and then 6 right here. So what black is trying to do is to go and keep the corner and the outside. Now white cannot prevent black's life or connection out. Black's hope is that white will get into trouble on the outside. All right. So attach here 6. This feels like bad shape for white. Now what about this one? 5, 6, 7. I would feel like that's better shape. 8, wedge, 11, 12, defend the cutting point, 13, 14, and then 15. I feel like that's better. The attach is good if white wishes to play for territory. White can have... so this does keep the corner. Okay. White can eventually take the corner, but must take a great deal of care about being shut in. Another way for white to deal with this trick play is to apply the attach extend shape with 5 and 7 on the right, and the pincer with 15. However, white 13 is pushing from behind, which is generally poor style, and black stone on the left side could fight back hard at some point later. You can't force the opponent to answer. The shape black makes on the left with 1 and 3, when white ignores 1, is better than the shape on the right. There's actually a weak point X one can see, related to white possibly playing at A, which black would likely answer solidly at B. Alright. Principles of development. Table shapes. So we got the table shape, we got the mouth shape, and we got the bamboo shape. Flexible, guaranteed eye, and not very good eye shape. Bamboo joints are not known for their high liberty counts, but they are known for being very, very hard to disconnect. You gotta have a going on for that. The basic table shape, the double table in a perfect eye shape, and made up of two supposed table shapes. The second one marked. The bamboo joints differ from the table shape only as the marked. Yeah, I recognize this, joseki. Although you're not supposed to play two. When white plays two, the white group develops perfect shape. If white's strategy requires subsequent plays, push into the center, they are easy to find, and the mark stone is exactly perfectly placed. Huh. I have never seen two before in my games. I've never seen this move. I've seen this joseki. I've seen this joseki before, but I have never seen two. I'm curious, does that show up on Josekipedia? It doesn't? Huh. Well, I don't know if this is ideal, but I can certainly list it as good. Move played in the book. Shape up. Move shown in the book Shape Up. And called Good Shape. And then we can pass. I don't like listing that as question. I could say if white plays away, black gets good influence. And then here. That's really good influence. All right, so we got some examples of building table shapes. You got this one space jump, ear pincered, and you attach. The hane up into extend makes a table shape, and then this shape I have seen before. This one I didn't really know about that much until Jimmy Ko showed me this form move right here. And bamboo. Makes sense. What about this line here? Empty triangle. Yeah, I don't like the empty triangle. But black might play here if there's no white stone. Oh, is there a cut? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, yes, because black could play here and capture those stones. And then Atari here, and connect, poke out, and it looks like white either dies on the bottom. White might die on the bottom here. So the cutting point needs immediate defense. So cut here, then there's a ko. So this is a little bit odd that the shape here is chosen. If white continues by sacrificing his stone, all right, black's result is a failure from the point of view shape. It is much too close to the black group that is now strong. Efficiency is a major factor in Go. Okay, so it's good that that felt weird to me because it wasn't good shape. White gets this nice outside here for the price of one stone. Okay, this is an interesting shape. I don't know how I feel about this double hane. You know what? Black is strong here, so I think black could double hane. The thing is, bamboo shape might be possible. Okay, so the idea is if white plays to wedge, black can sacrifice that one stone and get good outside shape here with the hanging connection and the force to capture. And this ko is way too painful for white to try to fight, so white has to immediately connect. Like if black takes here, black is threatening to just get two eyes immediately by winning the ko, and then this group is immortal. And then these two stones and these two stones are incredibly weak. This strong shape, resulting from the capture of a single stone in the center of the board, is called a panuki. There is a proverb saying a panuki is worth 30 points. Roughly speaking, that means the three white plays has had a stone captured, making up the shape. Each have value 10 points. This is normal for plays in the middle of the game, but if the Panuki is confined, its influence is less and so is its value. When it occurs in the center of the board, a Panuki may have considerable influence. Interesting. This is a common position in which it may be a good exchange for white to make a Panuki at the cost of many points in the corner. The full value of white 2 and 4 may be seen in the middle game fighting. Oh, we have the double Hane variation you were mentioning, Pokemon. And then black gets amazing outside shape here. Other than, don't save these 2 stones. The white group formed is quite robust, it has good eye shape already, and white probably doesn't need to add another stone to it immediately. In the right-hand diagram, white takes the corner, but black has good outside influence. When black captures with 6, it is a matter of taking off a stone caught in a ladder before a ladder breaker is played. It also forms a Panuki shape. Black has a cutting point, but otherwise, thick, powerful shape is used in fighting. The value of 30 points on a Panuki by the proverb must be qualified, as we have seen, when it is prevented from exerting full influence, but also when it is too close to other influence. The wedge. This looks like a table shape, and the wedge right in between the bamboo joint. Interesting. So, empty triangle. I know that it's impossible to play 2 at B because white at A is Atari, and black cannot get any more than 1 liberty in next turn, and then black is captured. But it looks like that's black's only move, is at 2. With a wedge weakness, so that means the table shape is sometimes worse. In this case, black is powerless when white wedges in at the key point at 1. There's no way to cover all 3 cutting points A, B, and C. I have not seen that wedge before. That's quite powerful. The table shape is sometimes worse than the bamboo joint would be, with a wedge weakness. In this case, black is powerless when white wedges in at the key point at 1. There's no way to cover all 3 cutting points A, B, and C. So this is a slap to Tsuji right here. You slap here, you connect, or else white just captures. Extend here for more liberties. Play here to prevent black from getting out. Black plays here to try to go and surround that and descend. Black has 2 liberties, white has 3. White wins race. A related shape is often seen in a loose ladder tactic. White can capture black 1. White can capture black. The placement at 1 is on the point corresponding to the wedge weakness. Alright, so looks like white is getting really good shape on the outside here while surrounding black, but I'm not seeing how black is captured on the left. Alright. Okay, so this is on the left is when black plays the bamboo, but on the right is when black plays the table shape, and then plays the hane into the wedge, and then does the ladder. Okay, that makes more sense. Suppose white misses the chance of the loose ladder and crawls out at 1 instead. Black should now make a bamboo joint. The weakness of the table shape against white 5 is evidently right. The weak point at 5 has remained. It is just the method to exploit it that changes. White 3 and 5 is good shape. Where was I reading? But doesn't capture black's cutting stones. The high table. Alright. I've seen this shape before. I just haven't played it a lot at all. Like, usually I play maybe at this point. We call this more extended shape the high table. White 4 makes good shape for the stones running out into the center. Alright, that's interesting. The high table may need a modification to improve its strength from the side. When white wants to emphasize the top, this is a good way on the left, like a shoulder hit. When white wants to emphasize the right side, putting it one space further might be better. Playing 1, this means black 2 can expose some weak points. So, shoulder hit here. When there's already a corner and enclosure and extension. Then attack here, jump out. Now 6. I would have never considered the move 6. I would have never considered it before reading about this high table. And then Hane. Feels like a weird I guess the Kasumi is pretty strong, but playing this way feels really bad for black. When the 2-stone wall in the center is developed, the 2-point jump demands more force 8 than the 1-point jump. After white 2, black may find it necessary to reinforce with a play like A or B. If black only jumps to 1 here, either 2 or 3 next makes good shape. So black would have wanted to play here, I guess. Alright. I've never seen this shape before. This jump out right here. I mean, it makes more sense. It's a little faster, and white's stone right here is a little less pressuring. So let's see the continuation. Hane cut Atari, force to capture, hanging connection, extend, take here. I don't understand the purpose of the I don't understand the purpose of 7. Where's black 9? I don't see where black 9 is. So black 9 is played somewhere, and then 10 is played here. Wait, white 9. So white 9 must have been captured. So maybe here? White 9 connects. I don't see it. I guess white 9 is just captured. Is white 9 at 7 or is it at right under 3? Oh, okay. I see it now. Thank you. And then you defend the cutting point. Cut, descend, capture the 2 stones. Hane really debilitates this 1 stone, makes it weak. Here, black can jump out rather than completing the table shape. A standard regarding the exchange of the two marked stones is pure gain. Um, this sequence emphasizes the capture of the stones, which is dreadful for white. Oh, so it's like a push to create weaknesses, and then you cut after you make sure those weaknesses are. That makes sense. So here, white made a modified high table shape. No. White made this knight's move. Black went to push, and then white made the extended table shape. I feel like just a normal table might have been better. That's what I would have played. But maybe it's not, because if white plays at A, push, connect, play here, Hane, cut. So maybe it is better for white to play at 3. White makes lighter shape. Right, black continues. Oh, sorry about that. Didn't mean to brush against the microphone. So black continues to attack at the key point, but white is ready to sacrifice all of the marked stones. So black has pushed. White made the extended table. Um, Black attaches at A. White Hana is here. Black extends. White extends. Black connects so the stones are not dead. White defends the cutting point. Black cuts. White Atari's down and forces black to capture those stones. And white has good shape on the bottom and on the right. All right. All right. So this is a bit of a faster table shape. Looks like it. I've seen this shape before with the shoulder hit against a 3/3 stone. So the push and cut means that white can force black to capture those stones and then defend the cut. But I feel like if I was playing a really aggressive opponent, I would not play 12 here. I would have just defended the cut. Because if black cuts, white plays here, black captures, and what does white do now? Push and cut? That actually looks pretty good. Maybe 12 is a really good move. All right, so we finished chapter 1. I have somewhere to be at 2, so I have got to get going. But thank you for joining me. I will continue reading this at another point. I'm not sure when. Maybe we can read another chapter after some games tonight, probably. But thank you for listening. You all have a nice day. But maybe I should go and do a Twitch raid first. So, who do we have on today? Looks like Ben Kyo is streaming. The Loving Sun is streaming. Sophia the Knife. But Sophia the Knife actually comes and views my channel sometimes, so I think I will raid Sophia the Knife. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate your time. I hope to see you next time as well.
Mm, I'm done yet. And I could be winning this one. I'm not sure. I can't count this.